on not just any morning, but the 22nd of April 2023. It's a wonderful Saturday morning right here in Port Harcourt and in every part of Nigeria, the penultimate Saturday for the month of April, the 4th. We have 5 Saturdays, and so next week is the final one, and April will be history. Welcome to the Saturday morning show on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. I do this every Saturday morning, and I'm more than excited to do it. Why? Because I get time to spend with you. Yes, indeed. I also get to reel out 10 points connected to something that concerns you and I. And there's a whole lot that happens. Well, we're starting with Mortal Expedition, which will run till 7 a.m. At 7 is the major news. After that, of course, we have light conversations. At some point, I remind you about the importance of not going to a wedding you're not invited. A program will come up at 7:45. I'm going to get some guests. At 8 o'clock, we have the front page. There are important things to discuss. Of course, we'll take the hottest stories making headlines through the week. And this week has been an eventful one. It takes us to 9 o'clock, where Stand Out with Patrick Oduma comes right at you. Man, the program, of course, will play all the way till 10 a.m. Remember, there's the news on the hour, every hour. So that's what happens. You ready? All right.
I'd like to let you know about a show on radio, fulfilling your cravings and yearnings on Saturday mornings. The question is, why should you care? I could give you 92.3 reasons. 1. It's on the number 1 news talk and sports station. 2. It's with the most interactive presenter you know. 3. It's good for your soul. That's not up to 92 reasons, but it's more than enough. Join Sam Oracle Chinedu on the Saturday morning show from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You'll love it. I promise.
The difference between a dream and achieving it is that you have to wake up. Wake up to inspiration, motivation, and acceleration. Gain momentum. Listen to Mortal Expedition with the Oracle. Mortal Expedition.
Welcome back. It still is Mortal Expedition on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. My focus for this morning is what I will call a remix. Yeah, you know how a music artist releases a song, it's successful, then they do another one and make some changes to it. We've had this conversation on Mortal Expedition from 2019, if I'm not mistaken. I remember vividly. It was a hot topic. And the topic was what to look out for in a partner. So let's say you want to get married. What are the things that you should look out for? Now, this is the remix. It's the second installment because based on popular demand, there was, of course, demand for this topic. But it wasn't coming back exactly as it came in 2019. There's an update to the list. A big goal for a lot of people is getting married. I want to get married. Some people even set yearly goals. I want to get married before the end of this year. Some would make it sound like it's a threat, give themselves an ultimatum. Oh, this year will not meet me. This year will not pass me by as a single person. That's okay, I guess. So the marriage industry, because that's what it is a big one. It is a big one. Lots of people looking to get something out of it. So for those who have not found partners yet, they are definitely seeking partners. Some become friends, eventually become lovers, and then move on to getting married. Others skip those steps and go straight to marriage. Hi, my name is Sam. I want to marry you. I don't endorse that method, but I'm guessing it has worked for some people. So while looking for the person to settle with, the person to spend a major part of your life with, some will say the rest of your life, what are the qualities you look out for? When it's time for marriage, you're looking for someone with a particular kind of quality. And we search for a lot of things. We search for looks. Oh, the person has to be beautiful. In everybody's list, you want a person who is easy to look at. Tall, dark, handsome. I don't know what the male version is. Beautiful, whatever. And men are particular about shape, so she has to. Sometimes they use their hands to show you. So she must be wonderfully made. We look out for loyalty, character, emotions. We'd like to be in the arms of someone that loves us because you love them as well, or you're looking to love them. For some others, they consider ethnicity. Oh, they have to come from this part of the country. They must speak so and so language. Or they must not come from this part of the country. I cannot marry a man from here, or a woman from there. They have their biases. Sometimes it's not even from you. It's something your parents have planted in your head. So a guy comes around, he is okay. Let me even use the word perfect this one time. So where are you from? He says, no. I'm sorry. Someone particular about height. He has to be 6 feet tall. 6 foot. Body mass, is too fat, too slim. Educational background must be a graduate, master's, PhD. No, I cannot marry a dropout. No, if you ended at secondary school, never. Must control their anger, must be tolerant, must belong to a certain social class, should be generous. These are the conditions we give for the kind of partner we want. And many times we're not even half as good as the things we're looking for. But you see, most times the things we look for directly connect to us. What we look for has to do with what we will get directly from that person. But what about the attributes that are not direct? What about the things that are not easy to see or notice? Because usually when a couple, married couple that is, experience some problems, they go to a counselor, their pastor, whoever is in position to talk to them. One of the many questions that come up is, did you not see these things while you were dating? Sometimes the person says, yes, well, I saw it, or no, I didn't see it. So those things you did not see are the things we're going to talk about this morning. Subtle qualities to seek in a partner. That means the qualities that are not glaring, it's not clear, it's not easy to see. It seems like it does not affect you. That's our conversation. Now, it's important to know that we are live on Facebook and Twitter. That means you can watch as you listen. Go on Facebook. There's a live video there. I think I'll be taking comments from Facebook shortly. Facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. Subtle qualities to seek in a partner. You can say hidden qualities. You ready? Let's go.
This is
Number 1.
Number 1 is how they treat other people, especially people they are above. Now, most times when a person is trying to get something from you, they treat you well. Most people will not shout at their boss because that's how they get their paycheck. You don't want to lose your job. So there's something to gain from a boss. There's something to gain from a big man. There's something to gain from a person who is above you in some way, shape, or form. So you'd be very careful how you relate with the person, how you talk to them, because if you ruin that relationship, you might lose the benefits attached. So while they're looking to get with you, while they're trying to date you, around the time they have said they want to marry you, they will treat you nicely. This person might be the best person to be around. How they treat other people, on the other hand, is an important factor. Especially people they believe they have more power than. How they treat the attendant at the restaurant. People they are bigger than. People they are higher than. How exactly does this person relate with the vulnerable? If you're not comfortable with that connection, there is a problem. Because if tomorrow this person is in a position higher than you, you very likely will get that same treatment. Very likely. So while they love you, while they love to love you, while they adore you, you are all they think or talk about, how do they relate with humanity? Are they rude to people? Do they talk down on people? Are they insulting to the vulnerable? I say, well, that's just how he is, you know. He's good in the UK. What does that have to do with anything? You make excuses. Get into the marriage, and eventually, the casala will burst. Oh my goodness. It shall burst.
Number 2.
The second, which is not very obvious, and a lot of people will not even consider as a red flag. How seriously do they take their goals? You see, these things, they seem like they don't affect you. That's why they are subtle qualities. How seriously does this person take their goals? Now, mind you, I did not say the goals you set for them. Their own goals. They have said, this year, I'm going to start this. I will do that. They have plans, they have dreams, they have projects that they have set themselves. Do they follow it through? Because it tells you a lot about them. Again, I have to say very clearly, not the goals you gave them, the ones they set themselves. If this person has an unserious approach towards achieving their own goals, it tells a lot, regardless of how much you think they love you. Because it means that they can't follow through. Now, I understand that you might not succeed every time. But we can always tell the people who have put in maximum effort. Oh, there are so many successful businessmen today who did not make it at their first attempt, who tried some other businesses and it didn't work. They failed, they rose up again. But you see, people can speak to their work ethic. People can say, oh, even though this thing didn't work, oh, he gave it his all. He was diligent. Is this person lazy? How does this person approach their own goals, their own development? Because one day you would also become their goal. Marriage to you will become a goal. Family will become a goal. It will become a responsibility. And if he's unserious, he or she, about many things in their own life, at some point, you will also get into that picture. So you definitely want to be with a finisher. Now, do not get me wrong. I'm going to say it as many times as I need to. I'm not saying this person will close every deal. But we know the person with the right attitude. We know those who are intentional. So watch how they treat their own goals, not joint goals, not goals you both set together, not the ones you give them, their own. I will do this, I will do that. I will get this, I will get that. Acquire this skill. Just watch. If they are diligent, it's a good sign. Very good sign. Moving on.
Number 3.
Number 3 is, do they submit to any authority? Do they submit to any authority? Now, it's one thing for you to be dissatisfied with the authority they submit to. That's one thing. But at least, is there someone that can call this person and say, oh yeah, come? Authority is a power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. Is there anybody this person obeys? You see, there will be times where you would have misunderstandings and arguments. And depending on the nature of your marriage, there might be the need to involve a responsible, a reputable, a respectable third party. I've said this before, there are some people, it hasn't happened before, but if I have a problem in my marriage today, and in my regular fashion of not wanting to talk about it, it bothers my wife so much, there are some people she will go and talk to that will call me and summon me. Someone is not, Sam, how are you? When are you free? I want to see. I need to see you tomorrow morning. Come to my office this afternoon. And I will go. You might tell me what you want to tell me and I'll... but there is... I submit to that authority. I have a few people like that in my life. A person that can call you to order. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you will not disagree with what this person says, but they can. So if you have a partner who they don't listen to, and there's nobody in this world that can say, oh yeah, sit down here, and they will sit. They do what they like. They are their own person. You can't talk to them. They are movers and shakers. Once they decide. They can never. There's a problem. There is a big problem. You know why? Because we're not always right. Sometimes it's not even about right or wrong. Sometimes you need to be put in a place where you can see the other perspective. Sometimes they need to talk sense into you. So there are times when, if the problem gets to that point, somebody, a higher power, I'm not even talking about God, I'm talking of human being this time, has to be able to talk to you and you listen. If the person you want to marry does not have a person like that in their lives, both their parents, your parents, a pastor, a leader in some way, in some capacity, run. Everyone has to submit to an authority. Everyone has to have someone that can summon them. Everyone has to have someone that can call them to order. Because you are not always in order. If you don't, avoid that person. I'm not joking. Moving on.
Number 4.
Number 4, who has had the greatest influence in their lives? Before you came into their lives and now that you're in. Maybe even not the greatest influence. Let's just say influence generally. I've said this a million times. Here goes 1,000,001. I teach a class. I have students. And a major part of what we do in that class, besides gaining knowledge, is we have discussions. We talk a lot because it's a communications class. So I engage with my students a lot. By the time I'm done, I know a lot about them and they know a lot about me. And so many times, the questions I ask, role models, influences, sometimes if you see the kind of people some ladies want to be like, Some of my female students, I'm using the example because it's the most recent case where, I got to understand the person's influence. There was a young lady, name withheld, of course, who is very passionate about every female celebrity that has done fake, I don't know what they call it, this doing fake bomb. What's it called? Sorry, I'm not, the word doesn't come to mind. Every female celebrity who has had a surgery. I don't know if it's an intentional pattern or she doesn't know. Say, I love this one. I love this one. Do you see the pattern here? So I just love their body. I love this. If you are trying to get with that person and you see how much of an influence this celebrity uses this phone, they want to use that phone. They do like this, they want to do like that. My dear, you can obviously tell what direction they are heading. And it also happens on the other side. There are people who have good influences as well. So who influences that person? Who are they trying to be like? Who do they talk about? There's a guy that I met. Every time you talk to this guy, there's one prophet, there's one channel on cable he watches, right? It's a Christian channel. There's one particular, I wish I can say the name of the prophet. There's a prophet, he's always, every day, every time. Oh, prophet this one, prophet that. My prophet. Morning, noon, and night, he's watching that channel. He's talking about the man. He's telling you that he wants to go to the man's church. Obviously, if you date that person or marry them, you already understand the direction. You know what's important to them. So who do they look up to? Who do they admire? Do they have a mentor or role model? Who are they always trying to be like, dress like, talk like? Whose success do they want to replicate? There is a pattern. And, most times you will not just come and change it because that's what you met. So who has a great influence in the life of this person that you want to marry? Who do they talk about? Who do they want to be like? Who do they admire? In fact, sometimes you can just stylishly ask, if you could meet anybody in this world, who would the person? Oh, they will call that, my prophet. Oh, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be made whole. Okay. Congratulations. You want to watch it? Ask the person you're dating. Sweetie, if you had the opportunity of meeting anyone, you can even add dead or alive, who would it be? You see the way their eyes light up. Say, if I just see Michael Jackson, if I touch him, hold him, squeeze him. Say, okay. Thank you for that answer. But why asking? Say, no, don't worry, my love. Michael Jackson. Okay. Moving on.
Number 5.
Number 5. How do they respond to your dreams? Now, this one affects you. Remember? At number 2, I say, how seriously do they take their goals? How do they respond to your own dreams? If you spend enough time with someone, emphasis on enough time, right? You, of course, obviously, will share ideas with them. Oh, I want to do this. I want to start doing this. I want to do fashion. I want to travel here. Every time you share something you want to do, how does this person respond to it? Your dreams, plans, projects, maybe even fantasies. Are they supportive of you? Do they point you in the direction of progress? Do they shut it down, say, you want to do this one? I beg you. Let's be serious here. How seriously do they take your goals? How much value do they place on your dreams? That's an important question. And sometimes they might not be able to physically support you. It's not like they will give you money to go and open the business. But sometimes, every time they see something that will help you, say, oh, I saw this material. You say you wanted to do this. Oh, yeah. So how does this person respond to your dreams?
Number 6.
And number 6, do they respect your boundaries? And we all should have boundaries. Even though I'm dating this person, I love them. Yes, we should have boundaries. Starting with privacy. Say, there's no private, my dear. There is privacy. Don't play. Being married or being in a relationship does not mean that you don't have privacy. And I've said this before. Many people mistake privacy with secrecy. They're not the same thing. Your physical and sexual boundaries. I don't want to have sex until I don't want to have sex for this reason. Is this person trying to push beyond it? Your spiritual boundaries. Your financial boundaries. Oh, we can't spend this money. Your emotional boundaries. Do they respect your boundaries? Important question begging important answers.
Number 7.
Number 7 might be the most important point on the list. It just might be. Is this person teachable? Why? Because we don't know it all. Because we evolve, we grow. And one of the ways that you can get better is by being teachable. Is your spouse open to learning, or do they know it all? Because there are some wasabi. They've seen it all. They've done it all. They are the alpha and the omega. Are they open to learning? Or do they always think they are right? Can you share ideas with them and they will take it? Is there flexibility with knowledge? If this person is always right, never wrong, they know it all, there's a problem. There is a problem. Because they will know what is good for them and what is good for you. They will know better than you what is good for you.
Number 8.
Is their happiness dependent on them? I need to take some time to explain this point. So there are some people whose happiness are dependent on external factors. It takes another person to make them happy. It takes, maybe something like a job, promotion. For them to be happy, something has to happen. They cannot make themselves happy. Anybody whose happiness is completely dependent on an external force will have a difficult life. I can tell you for free. You need to be able to make yourself happy regardless of whether or not you're in a relationship, whether you are married, on your own, being a happy person. If what it takes for a person to be happy is something must happen to them, they must get some money, they must get a car, they must be in a relationship, there's a problem. Oh my goodness. There is a problem. Moving on.
Number 9.
Do they have a clear plan and direction for their life? Do they have a clear plan? Do they think for themselves? There are people that anything, my mother say I should do this. My pastor say I should do this. This one say, that's okay. Have you ever seen them think up a plan themselves and implement it? Are they self-governed? This is where I'm going. This is where I want to be in 5 years. This is the direction I'm heading. Have you ever seen that happen? If it feels like people think for them, there is a problem. And finally, of course, I just see now that I'm almost out of time.
No. Number 10.
The God factor. How seriously do they take God? Spiritually speaking, how connected is this person? Because you want them to share your sentiment, to share your view when it comes to spiritual things. We'll talk after the program. Stay with me.
Hello and welcome once again to Real Estate on Your Radio. I am Gabrielle.